It is Sunday, November 3rd, and you are listening to another edition of the Boiler Breakdown Podcast brought to you by Schroff Landscaping. For all of your landscaping needs, give them a call at 574-223-2769. They're really busy with fall cleanups right now. I know I got to do some fall cleanup myself. I'm not looking forward to it. But give them a call, 223-2769. I'm Tanner Lee at _T_Lee on Twitter. And my co-hosts Andrew Eiler and Evan Webb are joining me. What's going on, guys?
Oh, not much, man. How about you?
Feeling good.
Before we get started, I think we should offer an apology to to Coach Frost. It's Sunday. I know I'm not feeling too well today, and it's a little cold out here in Indiana, so we obviously had to wear some sweatshirts because we're just not, the strong men that, Coach Frost thinks people should be. So I figured we should just get out of the way and offer a sincere apology to Coach Frost.
He would probably call us #soft. I mean,
what an idiot!
He is so arrogant.
Tell us how you really feel, Evan. Yeah.
He's so arrogant. I mean, even yesterday after the game, he's like, "Yep, that's the game we should have won." Which, okay, yeah, Purdue is really banged up and playing like a ton of freshmen, so he probably should win that game.
Yeah.
But then they're saying during the bye week they got to get better at passing, catching, running, tackling, covering. He goes, that's all I know how to do. I'm like,
did he talk about needing to get better at coaching too, or just throw everyone else under the bus?
Yeah, what was that last second time? Like they just totally botched that.
Yeah. I thought Nebraska made some really bad coaching decisions, but they're just not that great of a football team. They should be a lot better than they are, and at least I know all three of us at the start of the year didn't believe in the hype of the 10-2, 9-3. West champions.
What were they? They were preseason ranked and
top 25.
They
all
won
that.
4 games last year, and the defense was atrocious. And then they're all of a sudden expecting to know how to play defense and double their win.
Yep. And
Martinez, dark horse Heisman candidate, right? Like coming into the year, he looked terrible.
Yeah, he did not look good yesterday. I thought he made some good plays on his feet.
Yeah,
but when Purdue kept him in the pocket, he wasn't that good.
Caught some breaks with him, just not knowing how to throw to a receiver, streaking down the field.
There were some blown coverages or something multiple times that he totally just botched and missed.
Got a comment here from Chris Beeler. He says, watching you all on the big screen, Boiler Up. We appreciate it, Chris.
Shout out to Chris.
Yeah, we like being on the big screen. That's pretty cool. So thank you for the comment. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get right into the game. We were kind of already talking about it, but the Boilers got their third win of the season by score 31-27. Man, it just felt good, even though Purdue did suffer a big injury to a key player that we'll talk about. Of course, I mean, Purdue can't get through a game without losing a key player due to injury, but this is one Purdue had to have to keep their bowl chances alive, and they're still alive. I mean, barely, but they still got a pulse. And
what's your percentage at right now in terms of the chance of us making a bowl? Assuming we have to win out, and one of those wins has to be at Wisconsin, which we have
30%.
And
putting 30.
And that's assuming. Are you assuming Plummer's out, like Brown mentions?
Yeah, we're
at the year.
Mm-hmm. 30 was high.
I think Northwestern is very bad.
Yes.
They haven't scored a touchdown since October 5th.
Wisconsin's very good.
I know.
15 years.
Let's take our third string walk-on quarterback. Hey, that'd be a movie if we take our third string walk-on quarterback in there and somehow beat Wisconsin.
Did he start the year at third string, or was he fourth string behind Sipe?
I don't know.
I think he was third string after the spring because Sipe's back flared up.
I don't think Sipe's ever really been healthy this year.
But maybe we won't have to start a third string walk-on quarterback against Wisconsin, Andrew. We can talk about that in a little bit.
That's another possibility.
Maybe.
Cool.
But yeah, let's get into what we thought was good for Purdue yesterday. Cactus Jack Plummer. I thought he played fairly well. He had a few mistakes here and there. His stat line looked like this: 25 for 34 for 242 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. What I liked seeing out of him was him getting out of the pocket and getting on his feet and moving. making plays when plays were breaking down. He had 12 carries for 61 yards. Unfortunately, he did not slide when he probably should have slid and got tangled up his leg, and can't really tell what the injury is. I don't know if it's a fractured ankle, a high ankle sprain, but Jeff Brom already said he's probably out for the season. So,
yeah, it didn't look good. He could not put that much pressure on him when he was walking off the field. And I thought right when it happened that maybe he just got kind of wind knocked out of him because he kind of tried to walk and he kind of fell down. But then when he actually fell down and kind of stayed down, I was like, oh, God, here we go again.
It's really unfortunate just because he was playing well, and he moves so well in the pocket, especially for a redshirt freshman. I mean, just how he get out, step up in the pocket and moves. But it makes me excited, I guess, for the future with him. Plus with David Bell, I mean, it seemed like kind of all the freshmen were growing, and now potentially he's going to miss out on 3 more games and practices and potentially of practice, coaching, development.
It's so eerie to me. David Blau 2 years ago got a leg injury, kind of similar, but I think Blau was trying to slide, and it was kind of a dirty hit by Illinois, but he got hurt late in the game with 3 games remaining on the schedule, and then Elijah Sindelar had to come in, and the next game was at Northwestern. Purdue's next game's at Northwestern. It's just kind of an eerie feeling to me a little bit.
Deja vu, huh?
That'd be nice. It'd be nice if Purdue got hot these last 3 games. But how do you guys think Aiden O'Connell did? I mean, the kid was pretty much thrown into the fire. Came in. He finished that first drive off, handed off to King DeRue for a touchdown. And then when Purdue was down and he really needed to spark something on that drive, he got it done. I'm not going to lie. I didn't have a lot of confidence.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Come and go, 82 yards or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was 6 for 7 for 62 yards.
And that throw
perfect on that last drive too. I think he was perfect.
Yeah, I think he missed. They had one ball batted down, I think, early before that. You're right. But the throw to Hopkins, that I don't know, was probably 30 yards. That was a great throw.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely got a little more zip on the ball than Plummer. And he seems to make his reads pretty quick. I don't know if that's just, I don't know what that's entitled to, but I don't know if it's just more nerves, like I need to get the ball in my hand or what. But he seemed to go through 1 or 2 progressions right away, and then boom, it was out of his hand. He didn't hold it as long as Jack normally does, but he also can't move like Jack can.
Right.
So
yeah, that's what's a little concerning, I think, because the offense, when it was moving a little bit, it was usually okay. We'd end up with a 5-yard run in there on somewhere from Jack where he'd come out of the pocket and scramble for 5-6 yards, and then it'd be a 3rd and 3, or he'd get the first down or something. So that was kind of helped kickstart the running and passing a little bit. It'll be a little bit interesting to see what happens with O'Connell not having that ability, I guess. Showing it yet, I guess.
Yeah.
And this was by far the best ground attack Purdue's had all year.
Oh, yeah.
I thought King DeRue played really well, 15 carries, 71 yards, and a touchdown. Like I said, Plummer had 12 carries for 61 yards. That was huge. I mean, Purdue was not one-dimensional finally in the game.
Yeah.
And what is that? What do you think? Was that the offensive line playing better? I mean, I know Nebraska had a couple big defensive tackles.
That defensive tackle was massive.
Yeah.
They're also good at faking injuries.
Yeah, they are really good at faking injuries. I think part of it just was, I mean, last week when we should have run the ball, we didn't. And I think it could just be Brom kind of not giving up on the run too much, which I'm not sure if he really gave up on the run. We didn't run it much the week before, but I think he was kind of just seeing what was going to work. And King was doing pretty well. It was awesome to see. And Horvath even had some good carries in there. I thought Horvath I think he caught a couple passes out of the backfield too.
Yeah, he had 3 receptions for 49 yards. And one of them, I think one catch was a majority of those yards.
Yeah.
He played well.
And you didn't say that with King. I mean, King DeRue had 5 catches for 31. And I remember one, I think, maybe on that last drive where he caught a swing pass out in the flat and made a guy miss and got yards or something where it looked like he might have gotten a yard or 2. And the guys on TV were like, oh, that's the captain, like 4-year starter or something on this defense. And he just shook and stiff-armed and Like, look at his eyes. It was great. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for him.
Well, and then, of course, we had David Bell run one in.
Yeah.
He's the one carry for 9 yards.
Man.
What a play call.
No kidding.
Did you guys see after the game, Aiden O'Connell said he'd never run that play before?
Yeah, just did mental reps, which is, crazy.
And they had that called before the timeout, too. Yeah.
They said they took that from an NFL team's playbook within the last week, or they saw an NFL team run a play pretty similar. I don't know what NFL team that was.
I it wasn't the Bears.
I can tell you it wasn't the Broncos either.
Maybe that was Drew Brees there before the game saying, hey, Brom, here you go.
And speaking of Drew Brees, he was at the game yesterday. He gave Purdue a heck of a pump-up speech.
Cool, man.
But what great publicity for Purdue and Purdue football. I mean, that thing was all over Twitter.
Yeah.
Every single big sports outlet was tweeting about it or retweeting it. And, I mean, and then even during the game when he was interviewed, he talks about pretty much if you're a quarterback, why wouldn't you want to come learn from the best under Jeff Brom? Like, plaster that, send that to every single high school quarterback in the nation.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
And it's funny, during the interview, too, you can tell he's like, I think the way he was positioned, he was facing the Jumbotron. I feel like you could tell he was like, his eyes kept going up to the Jumbotron. Like he was trying to watch the game and just kind of want to get the interview over with. But yeah, I was thinking that, like, it's not very often where, I don't know, maybe it doesn't seem very often, but where you have an alum who loves the school so much they're willing to come back all the time, but someone who's also not only that, but is a super high caliber just sports figure. I mean, it's it's one thing if we had someone like, I'm trying to think of other NFL, someone like, Ricardo Allen came back. That's awesome. He's great, but he's not the same caliber as Drew Brees, where everybody knows who Drew Brees is. Whether you're a Saints fan or Purdue fan or not. I mean, he's might be the best quarterback in the league. And have him, like I said, Tanner, that thing was on not only Purdue's Twitter, but ESPN posted that, a couple, Fox posted that. So it was a great speech, but also just, again, the great publicity of how much he's talking about, how much he loves Purdue and how much it means to him. So it's nothing but positives. It was awesome.
It was even cool to see when he walked past the stands to go do shout. Nebraska fans were even yelling and yelling at him and stuff and acknowledging him. And that was pretty neat. And it was cool. I don't know if you guys saw this on Twitter today. He was still around today because he went to the volleyball game today. He was in the crowd at the Purdue-Minnesota volleyball matchup, which number 6 Minnesota won 3-1. But I thought that was pretty neat. It's just really neat that, everybody loves Drew around Purdue. I mean, I leaned over to my dad and I said, I think Tiger Woods could be at this game, and people would rather see Drew Brees than Tiger Woods.
It'd be the second biggest story of the game.
It's crazy to think of.
Because I had a friend who lives is from the kind of the New Orleans area or the Louisiana area, and he's a big Saints fan. And he always so when I met him a few years ago through school, we were talking about. He goes, "Oh yeah, I love Drew Brees." And I was like, "Oh yeah, me too." Because of Purdue, and he goes, "What's it like when he comes back to campus?" And I was like, I kind of joke about it, but also it's like, it's like the second coming of Jesus sometimes. Like it feels like this for Purdue fans, because it's like, everyone's trying to find, where's Brees at, and trying to snap a picture. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he led Purdue to the Rose Bowl and won them a Big Ten championship. I mean, nobody does that.
Yeah.
So,
and then his success makes him. All the career passing yards, touchdowns, completion percentage, all that.
Which I thought he would be a good NFL quarterback and like a pretty good starter, but I never ever envisioned he would be what he has turned into.
Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah. Exactly. So,
just Sean Payton and him in New Orleans have had quite a run.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they have. So hopefully he can take home a Lombardi this year, since my Broncos definitely aren't going to be in the running for it. And then maybe you can sail off to the sunset. That'd be pretty neat. So, going back to the game, I thought we did a good job of sharing the ball around. Hopkins had a good game, 8 catches for 97 yards. Milton Wright, 4 catches for 69 yards. That was
really
nice
happy
to see him
get more involved.
That was only his second game he's caught more than one ball. The other one was Nevada. He had 2 catches.
Yeah, and one of them he fumbled.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Horvath, 3 catches for 49 yards. David Bell had 7 catches, but only for 23 yards. But he did have that reverse at the end. And then on defense, Nick Holt, surprise, led the team in tackles with 10. And Corey Trice got another interception.
Nick Holt, not surprised if Nick Holt did lead the team in tackles. But
he could. Yeah. Give him, yeah, thank you. Ben Holt, I just had Holt written down. I'm so used to saying Nick. Ben Holt, 10 tackles, and then Corey Trice got another interception, and I think he's making a good
that
case.
like a book, too, that thing.
And then almost had the second one.
Yeah.
Then I think Thieneman tipped it.
Yeah.
When both of them could have had it there at the end, but yeah.
Yeah, and that's one thing. I thought Purdue did a good job with Adrian Martinez. He was 22 for 39 for 247 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. He did have 58 yards on the ground on 12 carries and 2 touchdowns. So he hurt Purdue a little bit when he got to running. But I think that's why – I mean, Purdue was struggling to get to the quarterback anyways. But a lot of times everybody was yelling in the stands like, go get him. I think Purdue was respecting his running ability so much. They were playing off to make sure he could create plays with his legs.
There was that one play where George went after him. I think it just comes down to just inexperience too of, George kind of went right at him and Martinez kind of just shook him off, no problem. It ended up being a pretty big play for them. I feel like, give George another year or two and he's not letting that happen again because he had him, but Martinez just kind of shook him.
The only guy that really hurt Purdue really bad was Spielman at 6 catches for 123 yards. He's a big play wide receiver. He's one of the best in the Big Ten. It's going to happen. Loved that Purdue shut down Wan'Dale Robinson. I mean, between receiving and rushing, he had 21 touches, and Purdue held him to 75 yards on 21 touches. I thought they did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, that was definitely a big key.
He always made me nervous on kick returns too. I was just like, you get this guy a crease, he's gone. But
we've seen the same thing with Rondale Moore in terms of what someone like that can do, and so you definitely have a lot of respect for a player, even if he is only a freshman, of what he can do.
Yeah, and that's why I was surprised. I mean, how many times – so he had, 14 carries. How many times were those 14 carries just like a run straight up the middle?
Yeah.
Into his offensive line. It's like, smallest, the fastest guy on the field. Let's run him right in the middle.
Yeah. And they like to run him up between the tackles a lot. I'm like, give him some stretch plays or something he can bounce the outside. But
yeah,
I was surprised how they used him. I thought it'd be more like how Brom uses Rondale. I mean, he moves him around a lot, gets him in space, gets him the ball a lot of different ways. I mean, it was pretty handoff up the middle.
But I also think it helps that, I mean, this is a guy that Jeff Brom and company recruited really hard. So they're really familiar with him and all his tape and everything. And probably for the defense, it probably helps a little bit that they go against a guy like Rondale Moore in practice, or haven't lately, but have in the past, and they have similar skill sets, so that probably helps as well. Got a question here from Chris. He said, how odd is it that the last 16 touchdowns have been made by freshmen? How long do you think the streak lasts? And I'm glad he brought that up because I meant to that's going back to the Minnesota game. Last week I said it was the TCU game. I took that from my dad without researching it, and he was wrong. Ahmad Anderson had the touchdown against TCU, and Horvath had a touchdown against Minnesota. Ever since then, Purdue, all their touchdowns have been by freshmen. What do you guys think about that, and how long do you think it lasts?
I mean, it's weird. I definitely didn't expect that. I mean, you expected a lot of contributions from freshmen, but definitely not to the extent that it is now, mostly, again, because of the injury. Do you think if Rondale Moore was healthy, he would have broken that streak quite a while back? But in terms of how long it lasts, I mean, I'm trying to think the next person –
it's got to be Hopkins.
It's got to be Hopkins, yeah.
Hopkins or Horvath are pretty much the only two.
I think Hopkins gets one this next game, so I think it probably ends this next game.
I mean, I guess it could be Anthrop. He gets a lot of touches, or Sparks if he ever plays. I just don't.
I'm putting my money on Hopkins.
Could be Anderson again, I guess, but he didn't do much against Nebraska, so we'll see.
Yeah, but I think it's a pretty cool stat. It's one you don't see every day. It's a great selling point, too, for recruits. I know this year's kind of an outlier as far as injuries and playing more freshmen than normal, but you can sell that to recruits, too. Hey, you come to Purdue, we're going to get you on the field right away. We're going to get you into the rhythm, right into the offense. So it definitely can't hurt. I think it's really neat. But, yeah, I'm kind of feeling a Bryson Hopkins touchdown this week, so I'm going to say it ends this week sometime. But, hey, as long as Purdue's winning.
Hope so.
Sneak.
It could be, yeah. And you brought up that Rondale Moore probably would have had some. If Elijah would have stayed healthy, he probably could have snuck one in too somewhere. So, but yeah, Purdue travels to Northwestern this weekend, a Northwestern team that's just
bad.
They've been awful. I mean, this is a team that won the West last year. I know in my preseason predictions, I had them like 9-3.
Yeah.
And they're 1-7 currently right now.
Who was their quarterback last year?
Last year it was Clayton Thorson.
So how good was he?
Yeah, exactly. He might have been one of the best quarterbacks in college football history.
Yeah.
And we didn't know anything about it. But they are also down to their third-string quarterback, Aiden Smith. Hunter Johnson returned last night against Indiana after missing some time due to his mother's fighting cancer right now. So he missed some time away from the team. And then he got hurt last night. I think he got concussed.
Oh, jeez.
And then Trent Green's son got hurt like week 1 or 2 for the season. He was their other quarterback, TJ Green, I think his name. But Aiden Smith on the year is 60 for 127 for 500 yards, 1 touchdown, 6 picks. Hunter Johnson is 50 for 106, 432 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 picks. Yeah, you heard it right. Northwestern has thrown 2 passing touchdowns this year.
In 10 picks? Is that did I do my math?
I mean, they're averaging 9.8 points a game. Not scoring a whole lot of touchdowns. So
no, and I mean, and 3 of those touchdowns have been by running back Drake Anderson, who has 447 yards on 99 carries, and then 2 more by J.J. Jefferson, he's a wide receiver. I think might be a tight end. I'm not really sure. 12 catches for 155 yards. But Riley leads their team in receptions with 28, but only for 192 yards, no touchdowns. This is just an offense. This is like they're built a lot like Michigan State, but a lot worse.
Way worse.
Too much. I mean,
that's like Daryl Hazel when he's like, "We're going to play power football like Ohio State."
Exactly. I even look at their defense stats. Of Patty Fisher's a stud. He's good. He's a linebacker. He flies around the field. He makes tackles.
Yeah, they always have good linebackers.
They do have 2 guys that have decent sack counts. They have a guy named Joe Gaziano. He has 5.5 sacks. Alex Miller has 2.5. But then I was looking at their turnovers. They only have 2 interceptions on the year as a defense. They do have 7 forced fumbles, which they've recovered 6 of those. So I guess they're decent at forcing fumbles, but 2 picks all year. So, but it'll be interesting to see if Purdue's more 2-dimensional again, or if they rely heavy on the pass, even with Aiden O'Connell. I mean, it's just going to be interesting to see what the game plan is going into this game on Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think?
Go ahead, Andrew.
I don't know. I've got to think it's going to be fairly balanced, but I mean, Northwestern doesn't really know what to expect with O'Connell. They could be playing run or thinking it's going to be a bunch of quick dump offs, and maybe Brom opens it up and they're airing it out like they would with Plummer. I mean, it seemed like the playbook was pretty open on that last drive, so maybe O'Connell and they feel pretty comfortable with him, I'm sure. So it'll be fun to watch.
And what an opportunity for the kid too. I mean, he's a walk-on. He would be playing at Wheaton College if a few different circumstances would have turned out differently for him. But he's from Illinois. Now he gets to start a Big Ten game against a university that's located in Illinois. So pretty cool. Pretty cool story. But Purdue Northwestern series goes way back. Like I've mentioned in previous podcasts, Northwestern used to be one of Purdue's protected kind of rivals when the Big Ten was with just 11 schools before Nebraska joined in, before Maryland and Rutgers joined. Purdue leads the all-time series 50-32-1, but they've lost 5 straight, dating back to 2010 was Purdue's last win. That was at Northwestern in Rob Henry's first career start, and Northwestern was ranked 25th. Purdue beat him 20-17. Dan Deerkeen had a good game that night.
Also from the Chicago suburb area.
Yep, around about right where Wheaton College is. I think that's where Dan's kind of from. Purdue did not play them in 2011 or 12 or 13 for some reason, but they've lost to them in 14, 15, 16, 17, and last year in 2018 in the season opener. All-time series in Northwestern is in Purdue's favor at 27-19-1. So
that was at Northwestern?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a noon game, Big Ten Network, I believe, on Saturday. So I guess what are you guys predicting?
Even with a third-string QB, I gotta like Purdue's chance. I feel like we can move the ball a lot better than what Northwestern can. I feel like our defense has been doing a pretty good job of bending and not breaking for the most part, in most games. So, against a bad offense, you just hope that they're just going to eliminate the big plays and kind of keep them contained. Don't let them score touchdowns because obviously they're not used to it. Don't let them get confidence. But I mean, the spread is pretty low, but I think Purdue covers. I think they probably touchdown or two. I feel like we can win.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Has King broken like a long run? Like, has he had like a long one? I'm hoping this is. He breaks one early. Purdue gets up because. I mean, Northwestern's averaging, I just looked that up, like 130 yards passing a game. Like, if Purdue gets up early, there's no way they're going to – and they're on their third-string quarterback. They're not going to throw them into it. I don't know. If Plummer was back there, I'd feel a lot better just because you've seen him improve what he is, not really having a good feel for what O'Connell and what Brom's going to do, but I think they'll have him ready. So I think Purdue's going to score 20 points and win by at least 10.
I think one thing that kind of helps Aiden O'Connell is there's not a ton of tape on him, really.
Right.
I mean, you got the spring game tape, you got the couple series against Illinois, and then you got this past weekend against Nebraska.
Game was not good tape for anybody.
No. But Brom's always been really high on how he can spin it, his arm strength and everything. And he's made comments about Plummer's wanting to put more on the ball and everything, in the past. So maybe this opens up the playbook in a little different circumstance for O'Connell than it did for Plummer. I don't know. It'll be interesting, but
maybe
we just have to trust the coaches at this point. I mean, it's just the hits keep on coming from an injury standpoint, but I feel good about it. I think especially if Purdue can get up early, I think Northwestern just quits. I mean, literally they cannot make a bowl. The only thing they're playing for this week is to end Purdue's bowl chances. Even though they're slim, but there's still a chance. So that's really the only thing they're playing for. So I think Purdue wins. I'll go with a score of 27-17.
I was going to go 24.
Oh, my gosh. I hope Northwestern is 17.
I'm going 24-10.
Yeah, I'm with you, Eddie. I think it's going to be, like 21. Yeah.
I mean, I don't even want to give Northwestern 17 points because they haven't been able to score in a month. But I don't know. I just think they'll find a way to get a few trips to the end zone. But before we get into predicting the rest of the Week 11 games from the Big Ten and the top 25, I want to kind of pick your guys' brain. I know tomorrow we're doing this earlier than we normally do. We know kind of the Jeff Brom's weekly press conference, what he said, the injury report update, and all that. Do you guys think Rondell plays this week?
No.
I don't think so either.
Especially with a bye week coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of thinking at this point it's going to be the IU game just because I think obviously you want to win that game. No, not going to push him back if it's kind of iffy. They're going to be cautious and hold him back. So I think – and I'd be fine with it if we don't see him until the bucket game and he goes off and has a big game. Okay, I'd be totally fine with that.
I'm thinking Wisconsin game, like I've kind of been saying, weather dependent. If it's going to be a crappy day, do not even take him.
At least they play on turf.
That's true, yeah.
But yeah, hamstring is nothing to joke around with. You want that thing 100% healed before you get a player out there. But how about Elijah? Well, this is interesting because we have not heard anything about Elijah. And I'm just thinking in my head, he gets this next week to rest, gets that bye week. Could he be ready to go, especially if Purdue wins for Wisconsin?
And especially if it comes out that Plummer's done for the year, I could definitely see Sindelar back almost before more. I could see Sindelar back for Wisconsin.
Would be a storybook ending.
Yeah.
I am not. You're talking about a broken bone, clavicle.
Yeah, but I mean, Trubisky's back.
He didn't break anything, though.
I thought he broke his clavicle.
No, he did under his shoulder. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
is he really back though? Let's talk. We don't. Have
okay, I mean, like that's true, but I mean,
it was Sindelar's was his non-throwing shoulder, right?
Yep.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe.
I mean, Brom has not said he's out for the year, so I know, and we're getting close down to the end stretch, but
yeah,
I don't know. It'd be interesting. And we got a question here from Caleb Gerald. Wonder what Neal's status is. Will he play at all the rest of the year? That's a great question.
It's a great question. I feel like we've kind of at one point it was he's probably not going to play at all. Just like in terms of like from my perception. Then it was like, oh, he's out there like trying to do some condition. I think I read it somewhere he was doing some conditioning or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, okay, maybe he is. I think it's just kind of all on him. I feel like obviously Braum wants him back, but I feel like if he's not confident, and especially with something like a knee injury like that, if you're not confident, you're not out there performing to your best. So I think it's just kind of a waiting game on how he feels. I mean, that's a lot of weight on that knee. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
So it's different than someone like Ahmad Anderson. If he were to hurt his knee like that, he's a little guy compared to a DT.
I would. I'd hope. I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't know. It just feels like Braum has been more positive, and there's more activity the last couple of weeks about Neal doing stuff in practice. Like I'm kind of hoping. I feel like this would be a good week to kind of ease him in, even if he's out there for 10, 15 snaps or something like that, or a couple series, just to kind of get back and hit somebody, kind of get game. And then he's got an extra week to kind of recover. And I mean, he's going to be sore. Hasn't played a football game in a year. And then get him hopefully more full speed for Taylor, Wisconsin. So
I think the worst thing they did was like they kept making target dates. Like they took him up to Big Ten Media Day. It was him, Marcus, and Rondell, which that was probably just a curse. Look, all three of those guys are hurt now. But he gave no indication that he wasn't going to be ready for the Nevada game. And then all of a sudden it was like the week before,
TCU.
Neal's going to play. And then it was the next week. Then it was finally like Penn State. That is the date he's going to be back. Then Penn State week came and Braum was just like, he's out for the foreseeable future or whatever, and kind of just played it off. But then a few weeks ago, he said wouldn't rule him out for the season. So it's a week-to-week thing. It's just frustrating. It's just kind of how this season's been. There's so many guys missing for Purdue. We just like to get a few of them back, but it's getting late and not much time left. But great experience for the freshmen, that's for sure.
Did we see? I wasn't paying attention too much, but did we see any freshmen play against Nebraska that we hadn't seen yet? Not
that I'm aware of. Okay. I didn't see Stephen Fouchau or Dante Hunter at least.
Yeah.
So I didn't see anybody new. I mean, I guess there could have been a lineman or two, but I didn't see Cam Craig out there as far as I know. So, we got some other Big Ten games here, and I don't have any lines on my phone for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe they're not out. But I do know this one is high. This one's the big Fox Big Noon game. It's Maryland at number 3, 8-0 Ohio State. And Ohio State's a 44-point favorite. 44-point favorite.
They said you didn't have any lines.
I did know that. I saw this one on Twitter.
Okay.
I've got 42 on the ESPN app, so, but yeah.
Either way, it's over 40 in a conference game. Unbelievable.
And I said this in our group chat with some other buddies. I think they cover. I think Ohio State covers that.
I don't know. Bad. Yeah, but I mean, Ohio State's not gonna they're not gonna play anybody in the second half.
I don't think it matters. I think that's the thing. Ohio
State's
not
freaking
good.
Still.
Didn't Ohio State put up the ESPN predictor has Maryland's chance of winning is a 0.8%.
So you're saying there's a chance.
I mean, Ohio State's put up 45, 42, 51, 76, 48, 34, 52, 38 points this year.
And the scary thing is this isn't as high as the spread will be next week out Rutgers.
Oh, my God.
I think Ohio State wins this one easily, but I'm going to say they don't cover. I kind of agree with Andrew. They're going to pull their guys, and Maryland will score some garbage points. And
I mean, they may not play the second quarter.
They might not. Oh, man. It'll be interesting to see where Ohio State is in the first rankings that come out Tuesday, the playoff rankings. It'll be interesting to see where they are.
Hold on. I think we said something similar for the Wisconsin-Illinois game. I feel like I said the same thing. Taylor was not going to play the second half. And
you did.
Look how that worked out. So
you never know. That's why they play the game, but pretty sure.
As you said, just saying there's a chance.
The Big Ten game of the week here. I don't know if it's College Game Day. I haven't seen if Game Day is going to this one or Alabama LSU. I'm really not sure.
Man, that'd be tough to pass up.
This is number 5 Penn State at number 13 Minnesota. It's a noon game on ABC because supposedly Minnesota turned down the chance of having a night game.
Why?
I don't know. I've never heard of a school doing that.
Well, because PJ Fleck's got to fly to Tallahassee for his Florida State interview.
Boom. I'm glad somebody brought it up. Can you imagine that guy? If he's Florida State's head coach, game one, he's going to come out shirtless with Seminole paint all over it, and he's going to smash the flaming spear in the middle of
and he's going to come out, and he'll be in a canoe. I mean, he's going to be carried out.
Game days in Tuscaloosa.
Okay, so they didn't go to. But yeah, still, why would Minnesota could have the night ABC game and there's ABC at noon?
Yeah.
But yeah, that Fleck to Tallahassee thing could pick up some legs. I don't know.
I don't know. They've got to finish the year pretty well. I think State's going to want somebody more proven.
What do you guys think about this game?
I think Penn State. I don't know what the line is. I think Penn State
6.5. Penn State's by 6.5.
I think they win double digits.
Yeah, I think they cover.
I think Penn State's really good. I think Minnesota's pretty good, but I think Penn State's really good.
I agree with you guys. I think Minnesota is actually pretty good. I hate to admit that, but I think Penn State's really, really good, and they're just too athletic. I can see it being a good game, but I think Penn State wins and covers. So here's an interesting one. Lovie Smith called this Illinois' biggest game since he's been there. You have 5-4 Illinois on a 3-game win streak at 4-4 Michigan State.
Line is Michigan State 11.5.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was a little high. A little disrespectful to Santa Lovey over there.
Man.
I really don't know because I was not able to watch the Purdue Illinois game, so I don't really know much about the Illinois game or the Illinois team. How's their offense? I mean,
they're good at running the ball.
How's good? I can't remember Michigan State. Michigan State usually got pretty good defense.
They just can't score much.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Michigan State wins. I don't think they cover though. I think it's a pretty close game.
I'm going to take Illinois.
Wow, I'm going to pick Michigan State, but I would love to see that Lovey.
I'm all about Illinois winning.
I think Illinois wins, gets to a bowl game already.
Nope,
and they still have Northwestern on the schedule.
See, that's what I want. So they're at Iowa next week, so I want to see them lose Michigan State, Iowa, and come down to that Northwestern game, and Northwestern score like 50 and just come out of nowhere and just like Hunter Johnson just slinging it.
Do you guys think, say Illinois does beat Michigan State, could D'Antonio be in trouble?
No.
No.
Okay.
He's an institution.
I was just wondering.
Yeah. So. If Illinois wins, the fact that Illinois and Indiana are both bowl eligible before, like, with 2 weeks left in the season, and Purdue is not, is
I know.
Sad reality.
It's the fact Indiana already has 7 wins, and they're already guaranteed a winning season for the second time in like 28 years.
Yeah,
whatever it is. Makes you want to puke. But also, look, whatever. Look at their schedule. I mean, that's just what I'm saying to everybody. Look at their schedule.
I mean, they beat the teams they need to beat.
I know.
What you want.
I know. You got to play who's on your
which I know Purdue's still
schedule.
trying to.
So.
Very true.
Very true, Caleb. Very true.
It could. So I was kind of thinking about that. I mean, it may make it a little easier for the administration to eventually, if something does happen, that should have fired him a long time ago. Now it's like now there's more of a reason. Before, like Izzo, like all the scandals and stuff that happened, there's no way. Like, oh, he's too good of a coach. Like, they go to the Final Four every 5 years. Like, no, we can't get rid of him no matter what. Antonio kind of that way. Now it could be trending back to could be in the future. Maybe, I don't know.
And then we don't have a night game in the Big Ten this week, thanks to Minnesota. We have a 4:00 game though, a good one in the Big Ten West. Number 18 Iowa 6-2 at number 16 Wisconsin, who's also 6-2.
The line is Wisconsin 9.5.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Iowa's boring, though.
Yeah.
I think Wisconsin wins and covers.
Wisconsin's not boring. I mean,
they're better than Iowa in terms of.
Wisconsin has lost 2 straight.
At Camp Randall, yeah, I'm gonna say Wisconsin and they'll cover, I guess.
Yeah, Wisconsin covers, I think.
Yep, I agree with you guys there. Heading to the top 25, we won't cover all the games because we got a bunch of basketball to talk about here.
Yeah,
but,
we do.
Undefeated 8-0, number 11 Baylor is at 4-4 TCU.
Baylor is a 1-point favorite. Going Horned Frogs, man.
This is just interesting because Baylor's your prototypical Big 12 team, and TCU is like the outlier for that whole conference. They're more defense.
Going TCU at home.
No, I think Baylor. Take Baylor.
I think Baylor as well. I mean, it's interesting. You got Baylor and even Minnesota. These are two teams that are undefeated. They have an outside shot at the playoff, but nobody's really talking about them having a shot at the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
But I like Baylor in that one. Number 22, 7-1 Wake Forest at 5-3 Virginia Tech, who should have beat Notre Dame yesterday and fell flat on their face.
Wake Forest is a 3-point favorite.
Give me Wake.
Yeah, I think Wake and they cover.
I'm gonna pick VT.
I think Wake Forest quarterback leads the ACC in passing. It's not
Newman.
It's not Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, it's not Sunshine over there.
Jamie Newman. No idea who that is.
I saw that. I was watching. I think it was a highlight they were showing of their game. Did you guys know that he leads the ACC in passing? But
well,
probably also because Trevor Lawrence doesn't play like the second half of most of his games.
He does have 22 more yards. It looks like Lawrence has 2,027. Newman 2,059. Yeah, 22 yards. So I guess technically, yes.
College game day game. Number 1 LSU at number 2 Alabama. Alabama's won 8 straight in this series.
Alabama's also a 6.5-point favorite.
Can Joe Burrow get it done on the road? Tuscaloosa.
Is Tua going to play?
I believe so. He's a game time decision, but I got to think he'll play.
Yeah, I think so.
Man, it's a tough one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with LSU. I like the LSU team a lot. I think they go in there and get it done. Are they in separate divisions or in the same division?
Same.
They're in the same division. Okay. Yeah, I think LSU gets it done.
So the winner of this game is probably going to play Georgia in the SEC championship.
Yeah.
Does the loser get knocked out of the playoff?
That depends. I think that all depends on who wins.
Because they're not going to be.
Alabama still got to play Auburn.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be in the conference. The loser's not going to be in the conference championship game.
Correct.
But it's going to be like someone like Ohio State's going to have to lose.
Yeah.
Ohio State, Penn State in a few weeks going to have a big ramifications.
Yeah.
Assuming Penn State beats Minnesota.
Right. Mm-hmm. I can't see anyone from the Pac-12. Oh, no one's undefeated in the Pac-12, right?
No, you got one loss Oregon and one loss Utah.
Yeah. Nope. Big 12, I mean.
Baylor.
Yeah.
You got one loss Oklahoma, but.
Yeah.
In ACC, you got Clemson, so.
Yeah, there's definitely a shot, but.
Give me Alabama. I hope LSU beats them. I'll go on record and say that, but Johnny Manziel's the last guy to win in Alabama, and that was back in 2013. They haven't lost there since. So give me Alabama.
You convinced me, Tan. Yeah, I'll pick Alabama.
I hate it, but
I don't think they cover though.
Number 20, Kansas State at Texas.
Texas is favored by 5.5.
Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Texas.
I'm going to say Texas, but they don't cover. I'm going to say it's a 3-point game.
A few more games here. You got 5-3 Missouri at number 6, 7-1 Georgia, who had a nice, impressive win over Florida. We were all three wrong on that last week.
Yeah. I do not have a line on this game. For whatever reason, ESPN app does not have
I think Georgia wins and they cover, whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm saying it's probably a lot.
You got number 15, 6-2 Notre Dame at 4-4 Duke. It is a true road game. It's not a neutral site game. It's played at Duke.
Yep, and Notre Dame is a 6-point favorite.
Only 6 points?
Yeah.
Man, I laugh at Notre Dame fans. They're so delusional calling for Kelly. I mean, they're probably going to go 10-2 again, and it's like they just expect to win the national championship every year. I mean, I'm not a Brian Kelly fan by any means, and I can't stand Notre Dame. I'm just like, you guys are delusional. I mean, some of their fans think they can get Urban. I don't think so.
I would throw up if you went there.
Oh, my gosh. Tanner, you didn't hear
I would just look forward to Brom smoking him in 2021.
Oh, my. Speaking of Urban, his coverage, like the halftime, the pregame.
I saw the halftime, yeah.
It was terrible.
He's still butthurt.
Oh, my gosh. He was frustrating.
Yeah.
Give me Notre Dame, they cover.
Yeah, I think they cover easily.
A couple more games. Number 4, Clemson at NC State. NC State's 4-4. Got absolutely shellacked by Wake Forest yesterday, so I missed that pick from last week. Proudly say.
Clemson's a 31-point favorite.
Yeah, I think they win. They cover.
Yeah. Are there always this big of lines every year, or like?
It seems like it's crazy this year with the line.
The ACC sucks besides Wake Forest and Clemson. So
right now it would be Clemson and Pitt for the second straight year for the ACC championship. Yep. Iowa State at number 9, Oklahoma. Iowa State's 5-3. Matt Campbell has always been the name for the jobs, and it's kind of you're not hearing his name too much right now.
Oklahoma's a 13-point favorite.
And I like Oklahoma to win and cover.
Jalen Hurts.
Same.
And then 2 more games. You got 6-2 Wyoming at 7-1, number 21 Boise State. Yes, Boise State finally lost, like they do every year. It looks like they're going to run the table and they fall short to somebody.
Yep. They're Boise State's 11.5-point favorite.
They get it done on the Smurf turf and they cover. That's a hard place to play.
Smurf turf. You're not going to take Joe Tiller's.
That Wyoming team. I mean, they beat Missouri. They're no flukes, but I like Boise State. They're going to be mad. So then you got 5-4 Nevada at number 24, 7-1 San Diego State.
San Diego State's a 16.5-point favorite.
They win and they cover.
I'm gonna say they win, but they don't cover.
I'm still mad about that.
Tanner, I'm shocked you didn't pick Nevada just to say
I know.
make us feel better that Nevada's going to win like 8 games
because
or something.
Nevada's 5-4. They need one more win. So
how great would it be right now if we just had that game? We'd feel so much better.
Feel a lot better.
Oh well, is what it is.
Okay, I don't know if I'd say like a lot better. I don't want to be feeling good. Yes, you'd feel a lot better, I guess. But I don't think. I
feel a lot better going into Northwestern still, even though they're a good, a 7-win team playing IU than I would having potential to have 4 wins and having to go to Wisconsin to keep the bowl chances alive.
That's true.
I consider that a lot.
Yeah, I know.
All right, I know Evan's ready for this, but Andrew, are you ready to reverse gears and talk a little hardwood Purdue basketball?
Is there going to be some Butler basketball talk in there too?
No.
Okay.
Crossroad Classic time maybe, but no.
I'm going to have to step out that week, I think.
For those who don't know, Andrew's a Butler grad.
Yes, he is. And he's torn every time the Crossroad Classic comes around. Purdue plays against Butler. But we're talking about a Purdue team last year that's coming off an Elite Eight appearance that was mere seconds away for their first Final Four since 1980. I still have not watched any of that game, and I just don't plan to. I still don't even like talking about it, but I feel like I had to bring it up. And Purdue coming off a season when they went 26-10, including 16-4 in the Big Ten, and earned a share of the Big Ten championship with Michigan State. They lost Carson Edwards, second-round pick to the Boston Celtics. They lost sharpshooting Ryan Klein and hustler Grady Eifert. Those two are the two winningest Purdue basketball players in program history. So a lot of big shoes to fill out of those three. Not easily done. Purdue's going to be a different team than they were last year. They're not going to shoot up 1,000 threes like they did last year. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to play more through the post. They're going to be a really strong defensive team, I think. Mm-hmm. I guess what are your guys' expectations? But first, I guess we should recap. They had their one and only exhibition game on Friday night against Southern Indiana, a Division II team that's usually pretty good, or at least historically has been. Purdue won 88-59. Eric Hunter Jr. played the most minutes of any player with 22. I thought that was pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. Of course, Nogel Eastern was not playing, out with a foot injury. They're hoping to have him ready Wednesday night when they play Green Bay. Aaron Wheeler was the lead scorer with 17 points on 6 of 7 shooting. Matt Harms had 16 points on 5 of 7 shooting. Proctor had 10 points on 4 of 5 shooting. Williams had 10 points on 4 of 4 shooting. Hunter 9 points on 4 of 7 shooting. Thompson 8 points on 3 of 6 shooting. Boudreaux 7 points on 1 for 5 shooting. And then Emmanuel Dewana and Brandon Newman also scored. It sounded like Purdue played pretty good. I just saw highlights. I didn't watch the game. I wasn't there in attendance, but it sounded like it was a pretty good showing out of the Boilermakers.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned Aaron Wheeler 6 for 7, including 4 of 4 from 3, which I think he's definitely my player to watch this year. He's my player to watch last year. I feel like going into
you're driving the Aaron Wheeler bandwagon pretty much.
I've been excited since he showed up on campus, just because we haven't had a player like him at Purdue. I think he's the player I wanted Vincent Edwards to be, but Vincent just wasn't as athletic as Wheeler is.
Vince could slash though, man.
He could. Yeah, I mean, I love Vince. He was one of my favorite players. But I think Wheeler just brings a different athleticism to that kind of stretch 3, that 4 position, depending on where we play him at. But you had also, once that I thought was pretty cool, was Emmanuel DeBona had 5 rebounds, all of them offensive. We had 13 offensive rebounds. I think that's going to be something that we see a lot this year. I think we're going to be pretty good, especially when we get No Gel back. I think we're going to crash the offensive glass pretty well. You had Isaiah Thompson played 21 minutes. Eric Hunter Jr. played 22 again. We didn't have No Gel, so it's kind of why I think definitely Isaiah is kind of the go-to backup point guard. I think we're going to see Hunter play more of a 2 role this year, in my opinion. You had Sasha play 20 minutes, Jihad played 21, Wheeler played 18, Harms played 17. Your starters were Sasha, Hunter, Proctor, Harms, and Wheeler. I think when No Gel comes back, you're going to substitute him in for Hunter. I think we're going to see Sasha get some starts. I think Sasha's going to be a nice little piece for us this year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him take that next step. He's one I was kind of
on the fence about.
Yeah, I was on the fence about even after last year. I was like, I don't know how he's going to fit in next year, but it sounds like he's made some improvements in his game, and he played good. It sounded like against Providence in that secret scrimmage, one of few. Who cares about those though, really?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. I think, I'm kind of going into this season. I'm trying not to have. I have like goals in mind. I'd like the teams to reach, but I'm trying not to have a lot of expectations either. I know that kind of offsets each other, having goals and expectations. But last year I didn't know what to expect, and like I said, Purdue was mere seconds away from making the Final Four, so it turned out pretty good. Even when they were 6-5, and we were all about ready to lose our minds. But
it's pretty crazy how the team's changed the last 2 years. I mean, 2 years ago you had that senior class of Vince, PJ, Dakota, Isaac, and are gone. And then last year you come in, okay, you got Carson, who was coming off a great sophomore year. Like, okay, not sure what to expect. And Purdue has that great year and seconds away from the Final Four. And then now it's all again. It's okay. It's just kind of starting over, just kind of I guess have a new identity every year. Just it's interesting after having that class, that senior 4 years, where it's just had 2 or 3 years in a row where you kind of knew what to expect. Like, okay, you've got your four seniors or 4 sophomores, 4 juniors, that class that was just so consistent. You knew what to expect.
I think we see this team play a lot more like the Hammond senior year team. I think we're Hammonds, or I think maybe more of the when with Haas and all of those guys where we're going to play through the post. We have the ability to have those shooters on the outside. I guess I'm a little hesitant to say that just because we've got a lot of shooters, but no one's actually proven it.
And we don't have a Biggie Swanigan.
Isaac Haas. I mean, that's what I'm kind of interested to see how playing through the post, because, I mean, I don't know Harms as much, like as a true post-up center down low. All that much. I mean, Travion does, but he's also way different than Haas, because he does have that skill to kind of put the ball on the ground and shoot a little bit more.
I think we're going to see a crap ton of pick and roll with Harms like we did last year. He's just so good at that. And you can kind of just throw it up to him because he's just a massive human being.
I think we're going to see a ton of pick and pops with Harms too, and that's going to be huge. Can he consistently knock down a long-range jumper? So if he can, and he has a really good season, this could be his last year in a Purdue uniform.
Yeah. Then you think about it too. I mean, if he can keep the defense honest, if they go for that, they think he's going to pop out, that just can make him roll and just have a wide open.
Oh man, him and No Gel running that will just be unbelievable if he can keep the defense honest with him popping out. That'd be fun.
Who do you guys think leads the team in scoring this year?
That was one of my questions. So I think Matt Harms. Into your question? I think Matt Harms leads the team in scoring.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
say. Is it how much is it? He's going to be like 16 something.
I was going to say 14.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be pretty balanced.
I know.
not gonna have a Carson type of like 25 points a game.
No, and that's where if it ends up in that like 14 range, I think Nogel pushes because I think he's going to be really active and get 4 points on offensive putbacks. And I mean, he shot his free throws so much better last year. He's going to be more aggressive, and I think he's going to take a bump up and could push too. But I think it's Harms as well.
I do have a few questions for you guys, kind of like we did in our very first episode before football. One of them relates to scoring. Does Purdue have anybody score 25 points in a game this year at all?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And if so, who?
I'm going to say Harms does it once, and I think Travion will do it once.
Oh.
See,
I think Travion's just going to get a game, and he's just going to dominate, and he's going to hit a three, and then he'll just go like he'll go 8 of 10 in the lane or something like that. And
I think it's gonna be Wheeler. If anyone does it, it's gonna be Wheeler. Now I don't know if he's gonna do it, but just because he can knock down the three, I think he's gonna get hot one game, and he has the athletic ability to just get a ton of putbacks. But
I feel like somebody's gonna do it like one time. And my dark horse is Jawad Proctor. I can't say his name.
Yeah,
but I don't know really what to expect from him. But
yeah,
from everything I read, he's a scorer. So
yep, I think he's gonna be a lot like this name might not instill confidence in people, but I think he's gonna be a lot like Tyrone Johnson in terms of just a big guard. But I think he's got a little bit better shot than Tyrone. I actually like Tyrone. I think he played really hard. I think
Tyrone had some really good games.
Yeah. So I think John's gonna have a really good mid-range game. I think he can shoot it decently pretty well from the three. I know he didn't last year because he had an injury to his shoulder, but that's a good pick. I didn't really consider him all that much, but
I think there's gonna be a lot of minutes split there at the guard though with Hunter, Proctor, Nogel. That'll be interesting.
Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson, Newman. Yeah, I mean, all of them up there.
Does Matt Harms hit 23s this year? 20 or more, I should say.
I don't think so. So that's
– I don't know how many he hit last year, to be honest, but I feel like that's a part of the game he's been working on from everything I've read. So
I mean, that's a little less than one a game. You play 31 regular season games. I think he can do it. Yeah, I think he'll do it. He'll definitely shoot him. He'll definitely shoot 20.
Is it going to be like, how many is Painter going to let him have? Is Painter let him say you get a game?
I mean, if he can consistently hit him, that's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't Painter say last year at the they asked Carson like that at the Big Ten Media Day, like, it's Harms out there 7'3", like 7'3" guys hitting threes. Like, what does that look like to you? Carson says like, an NBA player.
Yep, that's exactly what he said. Yep.
That was a year ago, so I mean, like, we didn't really see it last year.
He hit a big one. I remember against Illinois.
Yeah,
a big one.
But
he's got a good looking stroke.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. That'd be pretty cool if he does. Because that'd be pretty.
Will Matt Harms be a first or second team All Big Ten selection?
Yes.
I
think
second
defense.
Team.
I mean, for defense alone, plus, I mean, Purdue's going to have him score. So, I mean, he's going to be up there.
Will Purdue have a player be the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year?
Yes. Just I think the hype going into it alone right now is enough is going to carry it a decent amount, and as long as they have a. Who
is it?
Arms or no gel, yeah. Take a pick. It's kind of like when it could have been Raphael or AJ Hammonds that one year.
I thought it was going to be Raphael that year. I thought for sure. Then when it was Hammonds, I was like, oh, okay. I guess I didn't do that. Who was defensive player last year? I can't remember if they favor big men more or like guards.
I'll look it up.
I'm gonna go no gel. I think so, just because he's gonna have
Andrew's
that.
Got it. It looks like he's.
Josh Reeves.
Oh, Penn State. Yep.
Yeah. I think because you're gonna have no gel constantly on the other team's best guard, and I think just he kind of had that. I mean, as much as the media sucks at times, but they definitely drive a lot of that narrative, just like they did a couple years ago when they were trying to make a story of Ethan Happ pushing Biggie for Big Ten Player of the Year, which was never going to happen.
Well,
I think Nogel gets it.
It's such a benefit to have a big guy back there that can swat shots like Matt Harms, because it allows our guards to be aggressive and pressure the ball. And if they get past, okay, Matt's back there to recover. So
it's like when we had AJ.
because Isaac never was that. Isaac could cause people to change their shots just because he's a gigantic human, but he could never be real good at blocking shots.
Yeah.
And one thing AJ was so good at was blocking shots and keeping them in play.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys remember. And that's one thing I hope Matt improves on this year, because usually he'll just swat it into like the fifth row and scream. So
if that gets the crowd into it.
It does. It does.
And then Harms gets to scream and piss off every other fan.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So last question at least I got written down. Who leads the freshmen in minutes?
Let's say Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson.
I like that pick. I think so.
I think Newman is going to have a season kind of similar to Hunter this year, where it's going to be a little bit of a slow start for him. I just feel like he just, from everything I've read, he's taking him a while to get things going. But once he figures it out, he'll be. I think Hunter really turned it on towards the end of last year. I think it's going to be kind of something similar that Newman does. He's going to take a while to get used to the college game, but once he figures it out, he'll be good to go.
Do we see Mason Gillis redshirt?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't think so either. But
I don't think so. I don't think anybody does. Trying to think what else I was going to say. I can't remember who leads the freshmen. You said minutes, right? Who do you think leads them in scoring? Do we think Thompson's going to score?
I think
so. I think it'll be Thompson too. Yeah.
I think Newman's going to have flashes. Like, I could see him having the highest scoring game for a freshman. But I think you're going to see a lot of turnovers with him too, just learning the game. And I think Thompson will be more steady, more of a shooter. Like,
I mean, it's going to be like PJ.
Where do you see? I guess we'll go before the Big Ten season. Where do you see any losses happening?
I think they'll lose.
I'll go through the schedule. So we got. I'll go through a couple games at a time. So we got starting off Wednesday, November 6th. This Wednesday we got home against Green Bay. Then we have Saturday at home at Mackey versus Texas, and then November 13th, Wednesday at Marquette for the Gavitt games. Do we see Purdue tripping up for any of those games?
No. I think Texas and Marquette will be tough. Yeah. Texas beat us last year 72-68, even though Carson went for 40.
No Jackson Hayes, though, which is good.
No, he's in the NBA. Shaka's 2-0 against Painter, but that crowd's going to be rocking. I don't remember Villanova might have been the second game of the year a few years ago, but this is a big-time matchup for a early season game. I like Purdue and Mackey. I can't go against Purdue and Mackey. And then at Marquette, I'm still mad that the Gavitt games did this. It's stupid because Purdue just played at Marquette 2 years ago there. But I think they're a one-dimensional team with Marcus Howard. He's a great – he's going to get his. He's probably going to get 30 points.
I think No Gel's going to – I think
he's going to take 40 shots.
Yeah, I think he's going to get like 25 points, but it's going to be on 30 shots or something stupid like that. Yeah.
I think Purdue gets that game. So I don't see Purdue tripping up in the first three games.
Okay, then we got lost it again. Here we go. We're back. Next three games. Saturday, November 16th versus Chicago State in Mackey.
They're terrible.
They're not good. Then Saturday, November 23rd, also in Mackey versus Jacksonville State.
Nope.
They're the Gamecocks. Didn't know that. Cool. And then Friday, November 29th, Black Friday in Destin, Florida, against VCU.
I think they will drop one in that tournament. I don't know if it'll be against VCU, Tennessee, or Florida State. Tennessee's just not good at these type of tournaments. I think they drop one somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think I don't know the bracket, but I think they'll lose to Tennessee if they play them again.
Florida State's top 25 team this year too. So,
yeah. Then screw it. We'll say there's two Big Ten teams in here, but we'll throw it in there. We got December 4th, the big one, Wednesday night in Mackey against Virginia for the ACC Big Ten Challenge.
I could see them losing that.
Yeah,
but
I think that's going to be the one we drop.
I'm going to say we win, but that's just me being a homer.
Yeah, I think we can win, but man, I don't know.
Place could be rocking though.
Yeah, I just have a bad feeling that. That's really a bad feeling, but I feel like this season the preseason can kind of go a little similar to last year, where we're just kind of trying to figure things out.
Oh yeah.
And then kind of go from there. But then we got two Big Ten games, a little bit easier than last year. Sunday, December 8th, home against Northwestern, and then Sunday, December 15th at Nebraska.
I got these two teams as my 13th and 14th teams in the conference. So I think Purdue's really is going to benefit from that. I think they get both of those.
Yep, start up 2-0. Nice. And then it's going to be a tough one. Tuesday, December 17th, 9 p.m. game at the University of Ohio. Or is it at Ohio University or University of Ohio?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I hate these games.
Yep, it's a lose-lose. Actually, I mean, I was thinking this earlier. It's a lose-lose because if you win, are they a MAC school? They're MAC, right? Yeah, you beat a MAC team, great. But if you lose, you lost. But I think for this team, it's only going to be, I think, beneficial just from the experience of that sort of type of environment.
That game was made with the football contract. When they played Ohio 2 years ago for Friday night, it was signed with, okay, we'll play out there on Friday night. If we play, we can host you in basketball. I mean, you look at the past, Purdue usually does okay at MAC opponents besides at Eastern Michigan a few years ago when they lost like 39-36, which was one of the worst basketball games I've ever seen in my life.
I stopped studying for finals to watch that stupid game.
But, I recall trips that I was really nervous about, and then that Purdue came out and dominated, like at Ball State in like 2008 or 9.
At Valpo.
At Valpo, my freshman year in college, I remember I didn't even want to watch the game. I was convinced it was ESPNU. Brandon Wood was playing for Valpo. I was convinced they were going to kill us. And we went in there just dominated. So sometimes it just looks scary on paper, and it's not. But it's like you said, it's kind of a lose-lose.
Kind of Robbie's homecoming too, but he couldn't play.
Yep.
No, I'm just depressed.
Robbie and Scott Martin.
Yeah.
Originally.
Andrew, you can't answer this one. December 21st. Yeah. December 21st. Cross against Butler.
Hate this too.
Then we finished the non-conference home in Mackey Saturday, December 28th for Central Michigan.
I'll say they get Butler and get Central Michigan.
Yeah. So you guys losing 2 games in the non-con. I've got us losing 2 games in non-con. So better than last year.
I'll take that right now.
Yeah. Where do you guys see us ending the Big Ten?
4th place.
4th. Who's your top? Who's your 4?
Michigan State. I have Ohio State as number 2, and I have Maryland as number 3. Ohio State's going to be very young, but I think their freshman class is very good. And I think Holtman's a good coach. Sorry.
Holtman's a good coach.
Yeah. Andrew would know.
But he's a good coach.
I got all my teams listed, but those are my top 4.
Yeah, go for it.
Number 5, I got Illinois.
Oh, okay. I'd like this Illinois team, I think.
If they can't get to the tournament this year, Underwood's really going to be on the hot seats.
Yeah.
Number 6, I got Michigan. They lost a lot, but they also have some nice returning pieces. And
Howard.
They got Xavier Simpson, and they got who's their center? Number 25.
Yes.
Oh
crap! I just had his name.
Yep. Starts with a T.
Big white guy.
Yep. They got.
I'm gonna look it up. This is driving me
they got
crazy.
both of those guys back, so they'll help. Number 7, I got Iowa, and I had them down lower until Bohannon.
Yeah, what the heck is up with that? Teskey, Don Teskey, yes.
They also got Mo Wagner's little brother, but he's injured. Michigan does. But I thought Bohannon was out for the year, so I had Iowa down on my list. When I realized he's back, I'm like, him, Garza, Wieskamp, Franz Boy. I mean, they got some pieces, so I put them at 7th.
They don't have Cook anymore, do they?
No. I got Wisconsin at 8. I got Indiana at 9. Penn State at 10. Minnesota 11. Rutgers 12. Northwestern 13. And Nebraska 14.
Why Nebraska last?
I just don't think they have much. New coach, Hoiberg.
Mm-hmm.
New system. They lost Roby to the NBA draft. I thought that hurt them. They just weren't very good last year. I don't know. A lot of other people I saw had them 13th or 14th, so I kind of piggybacked off that.
I mean, that probably can't go wrong. Rutgers, Nebraska, 13. Rutgers, Nebraska, Rutgers.
Yep.
I think we're gonna finish 3rd.
I hope so.
Ahead of Ohio State, behind. I think Ohio State kind of falters somewhere in the middle, and then
Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland 2nd, Michigan State number 1.
I'm not a big Turgeon guy.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
I think they've got great talent every year, but he doesn't coach them that well.
Yeah.
And Michigan State's just going to be really good. I hate it, but there is what it is.
I'm really intrigued to see how we do against them because they don't have a very good post presence. So I think we can exploit that with.
And we get them once at home on CBS on Sunday.
And Langford.
Yep, Langford's
Joshua
out.
Langford's out until January or something.
Yeah, it's just going to be
evaluate again.
Winston.
So I got a question for you guys. I got an argument with an Illinois fan last night.
Wonder who that could be.
We were looking at the schedule, and I said, "Oh, Purdue's got at Illinois over Christmas break. It's like January 5th. Students won't be back. That's good." He goes, "That stuff doesn't matter." I said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Students matter."
Maybe at Illinois game. Maybe when it's not very loud to begin with.
I'm like, that matters everywhere. Students are a huge part of a game day environment. I'm like, are you kidding me? I've seen Purdue drop games over Christmas break when if the students were there, I think they win.
I'm like, yeah.
I mean, am I crazy for thinking that?
No, I think you're definitely not crazy. I think students add just a completely different level to the environment, which is what makes college sports in general just so much better and why I like them so much more than I like professional sports. Although there's been some games I've been at Mackey where the students haven't been there and the crowd's been bonkers.
That's Mackey.
Virginia.
That's Mackey. Yeah, that's the thing. It really depends on the venue and the
team,
the team and the state of the program. And if it's something like, I feel like, Purdue is, a middling, maybe like they're hovering around 500 and we get a big game in Mackey against like a Michigan State or someone and the students are there, it can have a big difference. But if it's that game's, January 3rd and those students are there against like a good team and we're not doing that great, I could see, a blowout happening. I think it definitely matters to a point.
Yeah. I am glad you guys agree with me. I'm glad I'm not thinking I'm crazy.
Also, shout out to Boiler Nation for selling out an exhibition game.
That's pretty cool.
Against Southern Indiana, that was pretty cool.
Yep. I got a few quick game notes for this week's matchups. Purdue plays Wisconsin Green Bay, the Phoenix, on Wednesday night to open up the 2019-2020 season. I don't think they've played before. At least if so, I couldn't find any information on it. I think the reason they scheduled this game is Green Bay's coach Link Darner was a former Purdue basketball player, played on Gene Katie's team from 1990 through 94. He was a team captain as a senior in 93-94 when Purdue won the Big Ten and made the trip to the Elite Eight before they lost to a Grant Hill-led Duke team.
Did not know that.
He's been Green Bay's coach since 2015. Before then, he was at Florida Southern, and before then, he was at St. Joe's College. And he's been through assistant coach at a few other spots. So I think that was one main reason they scheduled this game.
Mm-hmm. You see that a lot. At least Purdue does that. It's always pretty cool to see them bring some sort of connection back. So it's always cool to see that.
Keep it in the family.
Yep.
Yeah. Think Katie will be there?
Yeah, he was there. He was there. Football game
Friday. Oh, okay.
A picture of him and Drew.
So my guess is he stays for a little while.
I mean, I know he typically does when Purdue has his guys.
And then Purdue plays Texas on Saturday, like we said. Purdue's 1-2 against Texas all time. Purdue beat them on March 12th, 1999 in the NCAA tournament by a score of 58-54. Lost to them on March 23rd, 2003, 77-67 in the NCAA tournament. And lost to them
on that team.
Yep. And lost to them last year, and they made the Final Four that year, by the way. And lost to them last year on December 9th, 72-68 in Carson's homecoming.
We were the 9 seed that year, weren't we? When we beat LSU, was that it? Because weren't they a 1? Wasn't Texas a 1 seed? Were the 8-9 game?
Yeah, we beat LSU. Melvin Buckley had a huge game before he transferred to South Florida. So, and then Kenneth Lowe and Willie Dean, those guys, lost to Texas. But it's always fun when you get a big time name program to come in. Mm-hmm. Looking forward to that one. So just crazy to think that basketball season's already upon us. It's nice though with Purdue struggling at football to have basketball here. So the football team still got a pulse for a bowl game. Hope they can keep it going on Saturday over in Evanston against Northwestern. Final thoughts either for football or basketball?
I think basketball gets a win on Wednesday, and Purdue fans are really happy next Saturday when both teams get a victory.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it a lot. It's a nice little 2 games in one day.
Happened a couple years ago against Iowa. Cause remember, I went down to West Lafayette at B-Dubs and watched us upset Iowa in football. I was with my dad. We were just sitting there watching the game, and all of a sudden, we're like, "Holy crap, we're going to win this game! We're still bowl eligible." And then we had a basketball game later that night. It was fun.
Yeah, that was a fun win over Iowa, and that might have been the last time Purdue came from behind down double digits to win until this past weekend against Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure about that. So, Caleb says Boilers sweep the week in the weekend. I like that. I like
Smart
that
man.
a lot. I'm thinking that as well. So, without anything else, let's boiler up, hammer down, beat the Phoenix, beat the Wildcats, and beat the Longhorns.
Boiler up.